Right, great to have your company here on cricketnews.com as we build up towards IPL 2021. And in this one, we're talking about a team that is impossible to hate because secretly everybody wants them to do well yet again. Yes, we're talking about Rajasthan. It's not the easiest to be a Rajasthan fan because every year you begin on the back foot. Like last time, you did not have Ben Stokes for the first half of the season. This time, there is no Jofra Archer. And I think that is a big, big miss for this franchise. Not just because of who Jofra Archer is as a bowler, but also because of everything that he offers to the team. He's a fabulous fielder, has that lower order contribution as well with the bat, but primarily Jofra Archer was the only bowling unit last year that bowled week in, week out and delivered week in, week out, got you wickets, bowled under pressure, bowled with a terrific economy rate. And the other end, Rajasthan were leaking runs and they lost matches very, very nastily in the process, of course. So there was no support for Jofra Archer all along. They tried different options. Varun Aaron came in, Unadkat came in, Ankit Rajput was brought into the fray, Tom Curran was played as well, and none of those worked. And this time, the strategy with Rajasthan, which they took into the auction, was to get experienced foreign bowlers to come in and bowl alongside Jofra Archer so that they have two really experienced bowlers that they can go to at any time and they could deliver from both ends, unlike last year. But unlike last time, this time they will not have Jofra Archer. And so again, it's back to the drawing board and they have to figure their combinations at least till Jofra Archer arrives. And that I think is going to be a big, big challenge for Rajasthan, especially because of the conditions that they're going to begin in initially. All right, so let's take a look at what Rajasthan did in the auction now, shall we? We obviously mentioned a few names beforehand when we were talking about the bowling unit, and all of those names are now out of the unit. You take a look at the names of the players that have been released by Rajasthan, and you see that most of them are fast bowlers, apart from, of course, Steve Smith, which is the major change that Rajasthan have made. They finally said, we have to move on. We have to find a new captain, and they've done that in Sanju Samson, who has been given the reins of the captaincy. A big move by Rajasthan, and knowing the way this franchise operates, this is going to be a long-term appointment. So Sanju Samson is going to be the captain for a while, and Steve Smith is out of the fray. The other names that have been omitted, of course, were Ankit Rajput, O'Shane Thomas, Tom Curran, Varun Aaron, and a couple of other young Indian players. So essentially, they've realized that the fast bowling contingent was not working for Rajasthan, and they had to get rid of it. So they've done that, and then they've gone to the auction with purpose, and they showed that with Chris Morris, making him the most expensive player, paying 16.25 crore for Chris Morris. He's somebody who can bowl at the death as well, and also can tonk the ball a long way when he comes to bat at 7-8ish. So Chris Morris was the number one signing. The other ones were Shivam Dubey, Mustafizur Rahman, who I think was an absolute steal at 1 crore, Liam Livingston as well at 75 lakh, tall English batter, and I think he can bowl as well. So Rajasthan's strategy this time has been centered around all-rounders, and I think they've realized that they had to plug in those gaps, especially in the fast bowling unit, because the batting took care of itself, especially with the evolution of Tewatia last year. So the middle order took care of itself. The top order was anyway one of the best in the league. So the bowling was the main area that they had to take care of, and they did that in this auction. The one thing that they couldn't factor in, of course, was Jofra Archer's injury. Right, let's take a look at a potential Rajasthan Royals 11 now, shall we? This is where it gets very, very exciting with Rajasthan, because the sheer names that are there in the fray makes it very, very exciting. So I think it's time for Sanju Samson to open the batting. So Buttler and Sanju open for me, with Stokes and perhaps Livingston to come in at 4, or Mahipal Lomror if you want to use that foreign option in the bowling unit alongside Chris Morris. So you obviously have to account for that, and then you play Mahipal Lomror. Otherwise, if you want to strengthen your batting at the top, you play Liam Livingston. I think followed by Dubey. It's a very interesting signing this, and Dubey is well fitted to play in that number 5 role. He'll give you 2-3 overs with the ball as well. So very good signing, and I think he goes in right away at 5. Rian Parag, of course, at 6. Tewatia, everybody's favorite, comes in at 7. Morris at 8, and then you play Tyagi, one between Andrew Tai, Mustafizur Rahman, and Shreyas Gopal, or you could also play an Indian fast bowling option there alongside Tyagi and Gopal. So I think all in all, a very well-rounded 11. Interesting with Rajasthan, when you take a look at it on paper, especially on the second half of the team, you think that it lacks a little bit of firepower, especially in the bowling unit. But there are some names here that have been around. They understand the IPL. They've gone on to multiple teams and know more than Chris Morris. He's a veteran of this league. He's a veteran of the game as well, especially with T20 cricket, and he will know what needs to be done there, and he'll work in accordance with the captain and the head coach. So I think all in all, it's a very well-rounded 11. Letting go of Steve Smith is a big move that they've made, but they will get in that other foreign player that could not have made it otherwise, because Steve Smith is a big name, and benching someone like Steve Smith, especially when he is the captain of your franchise, is something that you can't do. But now, by doing that, they've done themselves a big favor. They've gotten rid of the hanging sword above them, and now they can play in someone like a Mustafizur, a Liam Livingstone, or an Andrew Tai towards the end. So I think it gives Rajasthan a much needed balance, much needed stability, and very exciting times indeed. I do not want to spoil this preview by predicting where Rajasthan will finish, because it is really impossible to predict how this team will go about its business. Young captain, we'll see how he goes about his business. We'll see what the top 4, top 5 is looking like. Can Rahul Tewatia again come back and display the same skill that he did last time? So which will mean that you will have Dubey, Tewatia and Morris, which is a formidable middle order. And can the likes of Mustafizur, Tai and Morris come to the fray as a good fast bowling unit? It'll be interesting to see how this team plays. I indeed am very, very excited by Rajasthan yet again.